Hello YouTube and welcome to episode 2 in the Hanamonogatari reaction series. So there's some circumstances surrounding Easter where I'm recording this a day late, so subsequently this video may be later, and thus it's only one episode as well, so I don't fall behind in everything else as well. Yeah, Easter was nice, but yeah, I need to get back to the grind now, of course, and yeah, as a result we just need to catch that up a little bit. So yeah, Hana gets only the one this week, but I think it's good. It'll let us, cleanse a little bit, and then really hunker down next week for a couple. I think that's what we'll do. As I'm on a little bit of a time schedule thing, I think we'll hop into the comments very shortly. I've got it on kind of like light theme, I guess you would call it, just because my face gets a little bit dark with the darker one. I know nobody cares at all except for me, but yeah, that's the only reason why I changed it. So first comment here from Protector of Ruby. In a weird position with Hana, it's one of my least favorite arcs overall, but I feel it has one of the best or perhaps most impactful scenes in the show near the end. Also, it's nuts for me that the light novel for Hana came out after Kabuki light novel instead of where the anime puts it. That is insane upon recollection. Kind of that amount of foresight into what you're going to write next is kind of impressive. Yeah, because the way it works in the anime, to me, feels smooth, but I think it would feel smooth either way, honestly. It's a little bit of a, I don't see why there's some debate there. It's just kind of whatever, just watch it whenever you want. But yeah, spoiler for the rest of the comments here, Hanamonogatari is divisive. People either love it or hate it. And I feel like I'm falling into the former category there, where I think I love it. I think I love it so far, but again, we're only one episode in, and we can't judge things as of yet. And yeah, gotta keep an eye out for this scene at the end of the arc that's one of the most impactful in the show. Looking forward to it. Next comment here from John Bueno. Always funny seeing reaction of people when they see all the girls from Saruga's class calling Araragi legendary. This was very weird to me, because I guess we see Araragi point of view. He sees himself as a little bit gloomy, he doesn't have a high opinion of himself. That's a lot of what the rest of the show is about. So, seeing it from an outside perspective, he's actually quite popular. And when you break it down, he's relatively famous and he's friends with all sorts of famous people in the school, and he also like kind of doesn't care. He's got that kind of, again, too cool for school delinquent type vibe going on. He's kind of like a cute vampire boy as well. Like, he has a lot going for him. He just doesn't like see it. I think that's funny. I think that's actually pretty cool. I have no clue where they cut it in the anime, but the place Kambaro and Namachi meet is one we're acquainted with. It is the cram school. It is a construction site on said cram school. And yeah, it's of course, it's been burnt down. It was already an abandoned building, and now we're moving on to other things. Kind of fits with the themes of the arc in a way, right? Araragi and Senjogahara, they're moving off to do whatever they're doing next. They've left Kambaro all alone, senior year. And yeah, things are changing. It symbolizes change, but also kind of this, and I'll talk about this later as well, it's kind of foreboding, slow, drifting, kind of almost sand in an hourglass feeling of the arc so far, just a little bit lethargic. And I think that's purposeful. It kind of matches where Kambaro and Namachi both are in life. I think that's one of my favorite things about it, the actual tone of what's been going on. I think it's very effective. One thing I love about the arc is how Kambaro's character feels different. Yeah, so that's our point of view change. No more perverted remarks, because that's what she does with Araragi. We only saw her through Araragi's eyes. This only makes sense. She's actually got a whole lot more going on. She actually has different facets of her personality that come out with different characters. Yeah, she's going to show more complexity than in the past. I hope we still see a bit of a funnier side, because I think she's one of the funnier characters in it. But yeah, either way, I think we're going to see something new, and that's cool too. Very cool you remember the Rorka from Kaiki's mention last week. Most reactors miss this detail. I was just being like really suspect in the previous weeks, right? So it kind of fit in the brain, and then I'm like, oh, that name makes sense. That was the only reason I did that. And again, talking to its divisicity, don't really know what to say there. But yeah, extremely underrated. Some people regard it as bad. John Bueno's a fan. I think I'm a fan so far as well, but we'll see. Next comment here by Fats. Hair reveal literally changed my life. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's true. I do have hair under here. It's not great. It's not great hair, but it does exist. Again, I like to wear a hat as well. I'm gonna stand by my hats, I think. Again, feelings on Hana are indeed very mixed, but I think there's some great moments and particular visuals in it. From here on, Kei Hanoeoka who also did Kaguya-sama's OST, is composing the soundtrack rather than Satoru Kosaki. And I think this is honestly his best work in terms of soundtracks. I'm not a huge Kaguya soundtrack guy. I think it's kind of too cheesy. I don't know. They nail some moments, and it's definitely got some recognizable tunes in there, but I wouldn't choose to listen to it. You know what I mean? Music so far has been really good though, so I'm agreeing with this last point. Seems like some of his better work. Next comment here by Aki-chan Des. Many people hate this arc for being too slow, boring, inconsequential. Naturally, it's one of my favorite arcs in the series. Yeah, I get accused of liking boring things all the time, so yeah, this might be my bag. A little bit of a back and forth here with Kochin, just about this line and if she meant to cut the arm off or cut the hair off. She was holding her hair at the time, but also it makes sense thematically for her to want to cut the arm off because, you know, it's the thing that's actually causing her pain in the arc. I think either interpretation's fine. Again, unless there's some stuff later in the arc that's explicitly about chopping an arm off, I think it's open to interpretation personally, which is kind of what I get into here. It's a little bit of a back and forth. G-Bird, next comment here, our genderqueer king, queen, Augie. Very interesting stuff out of Augie. I think one of the other commenters says it a little bit later on. Yeah, Parnik. The best descriptor for Augie would probably be gender fluid. I just use what Augie presents, as in whatever arc we're watching. Oshino Augie is simply Oshino Augie. So yeah, I think I'm going to follow something like this. This arc, hey, Hanamonogatari, that's Oshino Augie, that's a boy. That's what do you say, Oshino Meme's nephew. So we're going to run with that, I think. Yeah, whatever they want to go with, we're going to go with, I think. Next comment here by Alexander Dunkelheit, kind of going into one of my questions from last week as to why we have no previews. There's no preview because Hana was first broadcasted as one single movie-length episode. In the last preview in Koi, this arc was introduced as Monogatari series plus Alpha, and the Blu-ray version is the same content just divided into 5 episodes. This will be kind of a custom going forward with future arcs and the final season with the exception of Koyomi Monogatari. So they're kind of releasing like one broadcast once, which is very long, and then presenting as episodes kind of cut up from then on since, if that makes any sense, right? Weird one. I guess it isn't a TV anime and you need to fit into a very specific structure if you want to be on TV in Japan, the way I understand it. So that's the way we're presenting it. I'm just happy that I'm not watching 5 movies a week. I think that would be a lot. I don't understand why people underestimate Hanamonogatari so much. Very dialogue heavy, heard that a couple times now. Philosophical, cryptic, and all over. A classic hard to adapt Nisuo-sen story, even more so than other arcs. In my opinion, it's a standout. Literally just came here for the hair reveal, but stayed for the story. That just shows how great I think of this arc in particular. Everyone loves the hair reveal. Yeah, divisive. It's divisive. I don't know how many times we're going to have to say it. Next comment here by Kochin51. Or kind of his second comment, I guess. I think you already know most of this by now, but because you have more context watching the first episode, it will be clearer. We didn't know the exact details, but for production problems, they had to remove one of the arcs from second season. They chose Hanamonogatari because you can imagine it's more disjointed from the rest, so they were going to adapt it in order, but then didn't because it was the one that made the most sense to be separated from the rest. I think that's true. Yeah, great choice, Shaft. But yeah, in the ads for second season, you can see some Hanamonogatari stuff. And further production problems delayed Hana even more, deciding to marathon the whole arc in one day instead of doing weekly broadcasts. This is why there's no previews, as we've mentioned before. Between this and Kizu, Monogatari has some rough production moments, and now Shaft is also dead. Yeah, very sad. For all this talk about rough productions and that kind of thing, it's been flawless. It's been really good. Even Kizumonogatari, which a lot of people have some problems with, I still hold in pretty high regard. So yeah, if these are Shaft's fuck-ups with Monogatari, then we're in for a treat. We really are. Next comment, TJ Gibson. Hanamonogatari is definitely up there as one of my favorite arcs. It's really gorgeous, and I love its serene, almost meditative aesthetic. I've got some more thoughts on this, but yeah, these are some of the words that I would use for it as well. I think it's more foreboding than it's got a negative connotation to these words, I think, so far. But we'll see how that comes to by the end if we come to some kind of peace with it. It solidifies Kanbaru as a top-tier character in my mind. She's already high up for me, so I hope I'm with you by the end. Next comment here by Simon kind of goes into a lot of stuff about putting us in the position of somebody going to some kind of Sir Devil for our problem solving, right? Why would you go to them in person? It must be a problem too big to be, just subjected to a piece of paper or that kind of thing. You must need some actual results. And that means it's a real problem. And this time, if you actually go to see the devil and it's a real big problem, they can direct you towards real people that can actually help. TLDR, kids often exaggerating problems, need to calm down and share the problem, but if the problem is actually big, we're going to move that on to people that can actually deal with it, right? If it's actually something that needs a third party. And Simon thinks of himself as somewhat of a, I guess, problem listener and kind of vent target, I guess you would say, in real life. And then, yeah, kind of watching this before Atori. I mean, for right now, this would be weird, but I can see how it would work. I guess you just kind of work with what you're given in Monogatari, right? And all this talk about watch order, I still agree with watching Kizu where I did. I think that's the best way to do it, but I think you get it, most of it anyway. They're pretty self-contained arcs outside of a few. Dama Mancia just mentioning that he liked today. They mentioned his comment, which was good. Kind of helped me explain some stuff later in that arc. And then Hana is hit and miss. Yes, it is indeed divisive. I've already read the first part here of Parnik's comment. When it comes to the chessboard and Gaian's plan, it seems that Augie does not directly fight. So yeah, it seems like Augie is somewhat aware of Guy Nezuko's all-knowingness and needs to work in the shadows as somewhat of a result, kind of pushing people randomly in one direction and pushing you in one direction and mentioning one thing here and there. But it seems like Augie also has a lot of knowledge, maybe not knowing everything, but knows the right moves at least to be able to execute on such stuff. In conclusion, both are very sus. Guyan seemingly helpful so far, but also with kind of that sinister tone to it. Think of some of the stuff towards the end of Monogatari, definitely giving off sinister vibes there. But Augie seems outright malicious, having resulted in bad things happening to a number of characters now. Think about Nadeko, think about Kaiki. Kaiki's like dead. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I think we're going to get more clarity as to what's going on with that later on in the series. Hot Wheels Kid, next comment here. Hana is a beautiful arc. I really, really like it. It's definitely very different tonally, and that's what makes it so interesting. So 2 weird name puns. So Hana has the same kanji as Bake, but with a grass radical over it. Sure, whatever you say. And Hanamonogatari is also a series of short stories about young women or girls in a famous Japanese publication running from 1912 to 1942 that contain the first mainstream depictions of homoerotic, sapphic feelings in Japanese pop culture at the time. And long comment incoming soon. Oh, I like the teaser. Yeah, of course, this now makes sense with the content of the arc being definitely Yuri adjacent, if not outright Yuri, right? Especially that, if there's one word I would use to describe that opening, it is flowery. So yeah, it's one of the best openings in the show, by the way, as well. I've watched it a number of times since, so going to dive into that again. But yeah, again, this is I don't understand how it's similar to Bake yet, but sure, go off, I guess. But this makes sense. Right, this is a Nisuesin Ass reference. MC Steve, next comment here. Roka refers to Kambaru with Senshu, which means team member of sport. So I think I maybe thought that this was just like a very, what's the word? Separate, like san, right? Saying the full name and then san. Like no nickname, no nothing like that. I think it was Senshu in the end. So again, still separating, still seeing them as only a member of the other team, but still has that familiarity of remembering them as being a member of said team, right? I think last couple comments from Kramer, yeah. So Kramer, I thought Higasa would be 2.0 Hanakawa for Kambaru in this arc. Her look's almost the same. Higasa is the girl that we had like 2 lines with in the classroom. I wonder if she's sticking around. Either way, yeah, she does remind me a little bit of Hanakawa, I guess. But I don't know. It's much for muchness, really. And I think this is the best explanation of what Araragi is, right? It makes sense that everyone at school knows who Araragi is. I mean, he's in a relationship with former track star Senjo, who's also, like, hot as, so sure. Is friends with Hanakawa, the school genius, is friends with former basketball ace Kambaru, elder brother to the Fire Sisters. Imagine being the only delinquent in a prestigious cram school. You'd gain notoriety quick. Plus, he's hot, wears his hair like a J-pop star. He's kind of a loner. Yeah, he's got a lot going for him. He's kind of like an e-boy. Shout out E-Boy Araragi. Some more stuff about the Orgi gender stuff, as I've explained before. This is why Hana has to be placed between Kabuki and Otori, not before Koi. The second season timeline is shuffled, but Orgi's character is slowly revealed according to novel order. I see. So you would get the touch of Orgi here, like this would be your first touch, and then you'd get a second touch with Otori, and that's where you'd get that foreboding feeling. But then with Koi, it reveals a lot more of what's going on, so it kind of ruins the slow reveal. Okay, I can see that, but I think it still works my way. I don't know. I wonder what the strong opinion is for the other way. Again, I'm sure people will explain once I'm done. I just thought I'd use this quickly for our little recap-y kind of stuff, just getting us back to square one before I dive into some ideas. Ugh, if I can speak. So this is April, which is weird. I didn't expect it to be April. Kanbaru wakes up and goes to school, clearly missing Senjo/Araragi as they have already graduated. So it was successful in Koi Monogatari, which is good. Wait, if this was meant to be before Otori, wouldn't we always know that they were going to succeed? Why would you write it that way? That's very weird. Okay, that's a reason for doing it this order. That's strange. Why would you do that? Okay, just random thought there. Orgi shows up and gets the plot moving by suggesting that Kanbaru investigates the Sir Devil that's been helping people lately. Kanbaru meets with the Sir Devil, and it's none other than Numachi Roka, her old rival in basketball and the like, and there's implied to be more going on. Numachi grabs her titty and talks about what she does for a while, kind of listening to people's worries, kind of taking them in, and kind of using them to feel better about herself because she's down in the dumps about her injury. Again, this is oversimplification, but that's basically what she's doing. Either way, Kanbaru kind of accepts what's going on there, walks away, kind of texts Araragi, goes to sleep, wakes up next day. No monkey's paw. Her major problem, the one that, she didn't tell Numachi Roka about, but it was the problem that was on her mind, it's gone. So clearly there's some kind of aberration stuff going on there. So just a few ideas here before I jump into the second episode. Kanbaru POV, we've talked about it already, but it's very different. There's a few distinct differences in how certain characters act. Especially Kanbaru herself. And yeah, I've been through a bit of the slower pace of the arc and how that may be reflecting how Kanbaru is feeling inside. We learn a little bit about Kanbaru's mum. I think this was interesting as well. Seems like not a very nice lady at all, but yeah, definitely has some opinions, likes to confuse people, definitely forthright, kind of married Kanbaru's father's side of the family to get out of her side of the family where Guy Nezuko's involved. So what's that all about? So why does this make the Gaian child important? Is there something to that? What is the Gaian side of the family got going on? I think that's going to inform a lot of stuff about Guy Nezuko. Gaian Toy, I should mention, is the mum's name. Yeah, there's a real sinking feeling this arc. Foreboding, slow, methodical, like time has stood still, kind of like it has for Numachi and Kanbaru. Numachi with her leg and Kanbaru with the circumstances around her friends graduating and that kind of thing, right? Really visually cohesive this arc so far. I think of some of the construction site stuff. I like the stuff with all the different arms of the diggers going through there. I think that was very nice. I like how Numachi's kind of sitting on one side of like a quarry type area. The sand rushing in, flooding down on Kanbaru, acting like you're in quicksand this arc, Something is happening to you and you can't stop it, and it's happening slowly. There's also the idea of gods versus devils, humans as their playthings. How does this impact the Orgi Gaian side of stuff? Is that what we're talking to there? There was some choice words about the mum in regards to gods and devils, as well as the whole thing about the devil's arm being what Kanbaru has. There's also some thoughts around if she took the Numachi Roka route about things and didn't go to the said arm when she got into some trouble, right? If she didn't resort to that thing, then she wouldn't be in the trouble she is now. So maybe Numachi Roka has a point there. There's some kind of implication there for that. And then Numachi Roka's whole routine, we're doing good things, right? She's listening to people's problems and helping them, right? This is good, but it's for the bad reasons. It's to make her feel better. It's to know that everybody else has worries, so her worries don't seem as bad. It's a selfish way to look at it. You're not doing it altruistically, I think by the end, Kanbaru ends up accepting but not agreeing with Numachi's point of view. I wonder if this has some implications as to what happens when she woke up that morning. And yeah, I think that's enough babbling on. I think I'm going to jump into the episode proper. Not without my shill stuff, though. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, and Discord, of course. And yeah, just jumping into the episode right now. Rightio, got episode 2 of Hanamonogatari up here ready to go. Let me pop that up on screen there. 25 minutes and 43 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. As always, I'll have the picture-in-picture version in the description below and using the Call Girls subs. So yeah, just gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, is this just the morning again? Seemingly so. No clothes? Musical choices are standout already. She looks a lot like Senju here. But why has it changed? Don't know. Got a lot of thoughts about her depiction here compared to her depictions in the past too. I don't think that's the case. I think there's something else more direct that's caused it. Exactly. Oh, that's another great point as well. Okay. I remember. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Ah. Oh no. Yeah, he isn't gone. Yeah, after that message. Oh, okay. I think it has to do with Numachi Roka. It's just pretty, isn't it? Opening again? Thank God. We've been starving. Like, I always love using this example, right? But imagine if something this good just came out seasonally. Can you imagine how much people wouldn't shut up about it? You know what I mean? On that this part? Yeah. Killer. Killer! Time has passed and things have changed. But has it? It's time to run. It's just good content. I don't know what to tell you. Yo, the sick jump, though. I didn't see that last time. I wish I knew more basketball players so I could make a basketball reference. Oh my god. I know LeBron. It's one. Steph Curry. Yeah, let's say that. It's LeBron and Steph Curry. There you go. Saruga Devil. Oh, you're still gonna play like the arm hasn't changed. It's time to run. They're very proud of their 3D stuff, aren't they? Oh, you're used to the arm? That's cute. That looks really good. I didn't think it would be that bad balance-wise, though. Are you laughing or grimacing? Look at that. Yeah. With your blood in it and everything. Yep, seems legit, right? I see. Yeah, so that's what I thought, right? When she fell, is she laughing or is she grimacing in pain? Yeah, great. Love this. There you go. It's all she wanted. Okay, Augie's back. It is weird. Well, okay, that's very direct. I'm a boy now. Pedaling backwards? Something about that? Yeah. Continue. Oh. What do you mean? Oh. Well, I guess I need to go check that out. Is that to point her back in the same direction again? I think it must be. Hmm. You like just pushing. You're a pusher, right? No, it's definitely a human as well. No such thing as a devil. You had a devil's arm, though. Okay, I think that'll make more sense later. Yeah, because you played basketball as well, right? Poisonous Swamp? Everyone has very embarrassing names. Tireless Saruga. Is that how it works? That's terrible. She kind of lost everything then, right? But she's in town. You do. Timu mate. Yeah, because I actually know where she is. 15th. Yeah. You went looking for her. Oh. Uh, well, that makes no sense. Okay. Very interesting. Uh, what do you mean? He's back in bearded form. It will. It's time to guy and child. I can't buy. She can run. If there's one thing. Oh, he can run too. And he can twirl. She can twirl too. Oh, that looks incredible. That looks really, really good. His running style is killing me, though. You're going to trip, be careful. We've seen a trip already. Ah! I like how he's straight back to being, like, antagonistically framed, you know? Shameful. Oh my god, kill me now. Like a cat, like picking up by the scruff. Oh, she hates it. Oh, wait, so you... I see. So she is in a different town right now. Gotcha. Explain yourself. I know you're after the guy and child, but for what purpose? Why? Oh. Kaiki is inevitable. Oh, that's poignant. Okay, interesting. Why not? He loves a coffee shop. He loves a disguise. He loves to still be alive when he should be dead. He'll even buy the coffee. That's big coming from him. He's cheap as. It is. It is what he wants. Oh, well, this isn't coffee. This is like Korean barbecue. Yakiniku, sure. They'll do the same. Got the hot plate in the middle, right? That was very sinister. I didn't like that. I can't take his beard seriously at all. I'm sorry. It's not like I can grow facial hair, but it's so pencily. I don't. Hmm. Makes me trust him less. Are you gonna eat that? I'd eat that. Looks good. Depends on your perspective. I can't disagree, but sure. Again, just a fact. Well. Oh, look at him. He's like leaning forward slightly too. No, but it makes sense for the audience. Kambaru Saruga. Call her Saruga then. Slice after slice. Very guarded. Very, very guarded. He could be evil as I'm eating that meat. I don't care. Well, it's not genetic. Yeah, I guess you'd call that. You don't inherit that. There's lots of meat there. Orji-san? No, he's being cordial. But I wanted to eat first. What? I implied as much, yes. I think it was implied that she did. Oh. Oh. But you found out? Oh. Okay. August is weird as. Why did she want to hide that? You two are kind of peas in a pod, yeah? Okay. Well, something happened to her, yeah. Weird. How do you not hear that? That's just why you were there, I guess. I think that's the implication, yeah. I think it was, though. It's reading that way to me. You don't ask anybody to just, like, look after my kids if I die. I think she's hit the nail on the head. Oh, with the crossed arms, too. That's funny. But that changed? Okay. Kaiki's love life. Yeah, we moved on to something else, didn't we? Weird. Yeah. If anything, nah, you wanted to forget, I think. Was that it? Was that the whole guy and child thing? Well, it's better now, as of this morning. Or not this morning, but a few mornings ago. He had to cross out Ghostbuster. I don't think he is. Well, that was actually... Again, we've been through that. Yeah, it's true. That's why you're so on guard. I believe him. Or maybe he's conning me. No, we're in an anime. It's very different. Well, this is all very true, yeah. Well, Yeah, again, that's what this part of the show has been about. No, she doesn't. There's no one facet to you. If he paid for this meal, then he's being nice to you, you know? What was that? What was that look? I think it may come in handy later in the arc. Okay, you took the card. That's half the battle. Yeah, some of it burnt or something, but it was a metaphor. He's rapping. Sure. How'd you know? How did he know? Yeah, she did. Too late. It's gone. The collectors? Oh. Uh, that's not good. Oh. Or let him have it, sure. I feel like it's already gone. I feel like it's already gone. Oh. Thanks for the cash. Yes, sir, I will. Thank you. Thank you for the meat. Kaiki's a meat merchant. He slings that meat. Hope not. I don't like the facial hair still. That's just Kaiki things. Which one? Numachi Roka. Numachi Roka. Your friend. Great. Great. That episode was great. Yeah. I do get the slow accusations, though. It was very dialogue heavy. Very, very much so. But the reveal was cool. Hey, Kaiki's here. And again, okay, wait. If you watch this in a weird order, you don't even know that this moment's important. It's more of like a reveal that Kaiki exists, rather than a reveal that he's alive, you know? Weird one. I now get why everybody was saying that Kaiki's love, or whoever, died in a car accident. It's a connection to a previous character we've seen in the story. There was also some funny stuff about her like flossing and stuff too, which I thought was good in the Discord. Love a good dance CD though. Even if this one's a little more somber. But why did Nomachi Roka say all that? How does that make any sense? Weird. Weird. Oh, post credit. To my surprise. I agree, that's what I was just saying. Is she just bathing somewhere else, or is this her bougie ass bathroom? Bathroom. I feel like he just knows already. That concerns me too. Thanks, Karen. She will. She's good at that. Thank you. Thank you, Fire Sister number 1. Cool. This nice. Peaceful. I like this. This is meditative. I wouldn't sit outside naked though. Having said that, I've never done that. Maybe it is peaceful. And yeah, jumping into a little second look on that episode, I think. So that was episode 2. It was quite good, but before I talk about it a little more critically in a little more detail, let's move over, or over this way, I should say, to the timeline where I've written what happened today. Just a little bit of a review. I know it's quick, but let's just read it. Why not? It'll jog my memory a little bit. So she wakes up the next day, which I think I've already written, but sure, whatever. She has a run. She asks after Numachi Roka at school to get some clarity as to what has happened and why. She kind of goes through some reasons why certain things may be happening, but none of them seem plausible. So Numachi Roka is the only major thing that's changed. So we're going to see if that has anything to do with it. Either way, a few days pass. She kind of leaves town. I think the implication was she was going to try to find where Numachi Roka has been. She apparently lived in a different town, which is something I think we already knew. So she goes to this different town to have a look, kind of on the guise of some other trip, I'm guessing, because Higasa is there as well, unless Higasa was just coming along. Either way, ambushed by Kaiki, he takes her out to eat some meat. And there's a number of reveals regarding Kaiki's history, Gaian Toy, a promise in the past, and what Gaian was doing that entire time with his Kambaru stuff. So why does he want the Gaian child? It's actually a lot more sympathetic than you think, at least so far, unless he has some more ulterior motives that he's not really tapping into yet. Again, there's some Gaian Izuko BS going on. Apparently, Kaiki doesn't like Guy Nezuko. There's some stuff revealed around August that was weird. I think we already knew that Kambaro wasn't going to know Guy Nezuko immediately, that Araragi was going to introduce her with another name. I think that was already in the text somewhere. But yeah, kind of finding out that after the fact and kind of seeming standoffish about it. Seems like it wasn't a good experience overall, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't even know if that's ever going to get adapted. Is it only going to get referred to? I don't know. Um, Either way, Kambaru then thinks on why Kaiki would know where she is and why she is and who she is and all these other things, and wonders if Numachi Roka knew that she was on her tail and then kind of sicked Kaiki to then move again if she's been hiding from her, like explicitly, you know. Either way, she gets the Fire Sisters on the case. That was our last little post-credit scene there. Yeah, it's like, hey Kaiki, why do you know where I am, where I was today, why how I left town, and blah 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 blah. Numachi Roka told me. Why? Why did she do that? You know. Oh yeah, so random side tangent because I'm just thinking about it now. There's a really weird thing about where this arc would be placed in the actual story. I think I spoke about it, but maybe deleted the clip. So maybe I've spoken about this already. So excuse me if I have. But think about if Hanamonogatari is placed before Koi Monogatari, we don't know that Araragi and Senjo and Co make it alive out of the whole Nadeko situation, so it kind of ruins a lot of the drama of that side of it. We kind of just know that they're gonna win. So it completely reframes a lot of Koi having Hanamonogatari where it is, having Hanamonogatari in the timeline placed after graduation. You know what I mean? So that's a bit of a weird one and just something I was thinking about then. But either way, episode itself, another really good one. Slow, contemplative, meditative in spots. Definitely a little bit more serenity to it now that she's lost the arm. She is quietly pretty peaceful about it, you know. There's that great scene where she's fallen over and she's laughing but also in pain, but she's also happy that she feels the pain there, you know. It's her own pain, it's her own skin, it's her own blood that's in the wound, you know. There's something in that. There's also that scene kind of towards the end where she's just sitting naked looking out into the distance right in the backyard, you know. That's very serene. If there's nothing more serene than sitting outside naked, I don't know what's more serene than that, you know? There's also some interesting stuff, POV, framing wise, how we're doing a naked Kambaru. Naked Kambaru in the past has been very fan servicey, very male gazy, if you wanted to get that way inclined about it. And we're not really doing that anymore. I think it's a lot more classy, the nudity we're doing. It's like she's looking at herself naked, it's not framed sexy. She sees it all the time. Of course, she wouldn't find it that way. There's one shot that was a little bit teetering that way. We're kind of positioning the camera between her legs a little bit, which was at least silhouetted. we could say that at least, right? But none of it felt as, you know, character appears on screen, look up, look down, as we've seen with Araragi in the past. It actually makes the Araragi stuff a lot better in retrospect because it is actually his point of view, you know? It isn't the creators going, hey, we need a naked character here. It's the creators going, shit, this is what our main character would be thinking and seeing and doing in the scene, you know? What his mind would be doing, you know? But yeah, overall, pretty good episode. Bit of a slower one, didn't really move the plot forward that much, but I think there's enough here to chew on at least. So yeah, just gonna give it a rewatch, I guess, see what I can find. Yeah, a lot of the musical work this episode was really top notch too. Again, adding to these quieter vibes we have going on with the arc overall. Just good tunes. This opening scene was a standout, hence why I'm talking about it here. Yeah, kind of some examples of what I was talking about immediately already. Like, this is a shot of a naked girl, but it's not sexualized at all. I don't think it is, right? I do like this as a technique very, very much so. Looking down at the arm, remembering all the pain, all the history that she has with that arm, you know. Just flashing very quickly in her mind, kind of in the state of panic after she just wakes up and realizes what has happened. So first, kind of theory as to why this has happened. Oshino has said in the past that the arm would eventually just get better. It would heal over time. Did the time come today? Was it today randomly? That seems a little bit wishful thinking-y, especially considering its association with what happened like yesterday with the arm. The other kind of theory she goes through here is that I hated Araragi senpai very, very much. I was very, very jealous of him during that arc, way back in what was it called again? Saruga Monkey? Something like that, right? If Araragi is now gone, does that mean Arm is now gone as a result as well? No, Araragi is seemingly still alive, but being kind of annoying. I do like how we kind of flash through a lot of symbolism from that arc. I definitely remember this shot. I definitely remember this bike against Hira as well. Lots of good stuff there. Oh, the memories of Bakemonogatari. My last text was a joke. Why aren't you replying? Are you mad? This is kind of what Araragi texted in the aftermath of last conversation. From memory, he said something like, can I join you or something? Because she grabbed me on the boob or something to that effect, right? And then he thought he took it a step too far and is now apologizing and being kind of weird about it. It's funny. You're not mad, right? I'm really sorry if you didn't like my joke. Seriously, I didn't mean it like that. Let me make it up to you. Like, it's just being, like, really, really on the nose about it. And yeah, she finds that kind of pathetic. I don't really know the art style reference here, but sure, very effective. Yeah, and clearly he's still fine. Clearly this isn't the answer to our overall problem, right? Yeah, this was the shot I was talking about before. Probably the only one I feel is a little bit gratuitous, but again, like, it's fine. It's got nothing on anything in Monogatari. Another great shot here, kind of mirroring that shot at the end of the episode a little bit. Kind of the sakura petals, the kind of sitting on that balcony in her house, kind of letting the sunlight, letting the moonlight hit her, just reflecting on what has happened. It's got a lot of good vibes to it, you know. I kind of want to talk about the opening again, but I'm not going to. It's really good. It's a banger. It's really damn good. Cool. So what's the first thing we do now that we've got our new arm? What she would do normally, right? She'd go back out for a run, do that kind of thing. Again, just another again, I'm going to keep saying serene. This is very serene, you know? Another great track playing here as well. I think I noted during the reaction. Yeah, very proud of their 3D stuff they have going on. Just overall, just very well animated, very well shot, very well constructed scene. I love the reveal at the end. Yeah, it was kind of predictive on my part, thinking she was laughing. I felt like I knew where the scene was going, right? She feels alive. What else can you say about this? Going out for a run, beautiful day outside, kind of petals falling in the breeze, this kind of music playing as well. Like just everything. It's just good. This is good. Everything that's happened to me from this morning to now is good. And why? Why has this happened? That would be the overall question. This is really great and all, but what's the catch? I feel like there's a little bit of that to it. That's why she's so invested in finding this Numachi Roka. I don't understand why your balance would be thrown off this hard. I guess the arm might have been very heavy and she just got used to it. This is my arm. I guess this kind of goes into a little bit of what the other arm may have been like. Maybe she didn't actually feel it. Maybe it was just an appendage. Maybe it felt like like it was a prosthetic, you know. This is my blood leading to it, my nerves, I can feel it, me, myself, there's nothing else involved, there's no other aberration here, there's no other almost parasite. It just feels like I can't overemphasize how lovely this all is, you know? And again, probably my favorite scene of the episode, the kind of laughing, the joy, the laugh, cry, hurt, everything about it. It's just perfect. It's perfect. I love scenes like this. I can't think of an example right now, but it's kind of that happy to be alive type energy to it all. There's a bit of end of Lord of the Rings to it, you know, when all is said and done, at the very least you can still you made it out, right? There's no more bad in the world. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. Alright, and then it gets all very sinister when we see Augie has returned. Now that's just rude, asking whether something bad happened. Though he claims to be Oshino's nephew, his words belie otherwise. Oh yeah, that kind of is Oshino's line, right? That's kind of funny. Okay, I didn't pick that up initially. Did something good happen? Huh, that's cute. This is weird. It most certainly is, but most stuff with Augie is weird. Either way, Augie implies some stuff about what has happened with Kambaru because she's walking, never normally walks anywhere. Contrast this with the first episode when she's running in such a scene. Augie implies that that Kambaru may be on her period and that's why she's a little bit snappy. She calls him a dick. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a boy now. That'd be in poor taste to say, right? Nice little touch there. I like that. I don't know what all these courses are, but sure. I don't know about any of that. Either way, this Sir Devil, kind of the point of this scene, is Augie then pushing us in a different direction. Sir Devil no longer is around. I wonder where they could be, blah, blah, blah. Of course, Kambaru is going to want to investigate that because of what has happened this morning, just pushing her again in this right direction. I wonder if Augie is privy to what has happened with Kaiki, which... Am I stupid? Like, it seemed like he was dead. It seemed like he was gone. It's good that he is, and I'm happy he's back. But yeah, I wonder if she's privy to that. Or, again, he's privy to that. Where the whole pronoun thing with Augie is going to get confusing. I have to find out why I've been blessed by God or the devil. There's seemingly some overall stuff here that continues popping up about God versus devil in this whole arc. And kind of humanity as a plaything within it. So is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing that what has happened to me overall? Like I'm just noticing it. I'm not sure if I have any concrete stuff on it yet. Yeah, this is the stuff I'm talking about, right? I don't really have much of an opinion on it. I guess I'll read it. You can't be a devil at the same time you're a person. This is very relevant for what has happened to Kambaru and the arm, right? She thought that she wasn't human, potentially, right? Because she was part devil. All you can be is a person who's like a devil. Is that what she thought she was like before, and now she's been kind of saved from that? It's implied to be some kind of collector. Maybe this collector has something to do with Numachi Roka? Collecting pieces to form an actual devil? You'd need a hand, kind of like Exodia or something. Yeah, again, no real opinion. I guess it's more relevant for Kambaru's self-image and self-worth, right? I don't think that you were a devil when you had the devil arm. I think you were just Kambaru, as the same way that I think you're just Kambaru now. I think, yeah, that's what I think anyway. Either way, it goes to Higasa asking after Numachi-Roka, has some choice lines about Numachi-Roka as well, noting her incredibly irritating defense, I should say, and calling her like a poisonous swamp or something. Yeah, poison swamp Numachi, which is very cheesy, but sure. In the same way that people called Kambaru Godspeed Angel. It's all very cheesy. But sure, they're in middle school, or they were in middle school. They can get away with it. I've definitely heard tireless Saruga before. I think that was a thing way back in the day. So I think the most important part to this conversation is we get some insight into how what has happened to her leg, her injury there, has ruined Numachi-Roka's entire life. So she was on a sports scholarship at her other school, so she didn't have to pay tuition. It was probably a fancy school, I'm guessing, right? Leg injury happens, no more scholarship, you're not going to play basketball again, kinda, and then, well, you have to move schools as a result because we can't pay the tuition. Guess you go into a cheaper school. So Numachi-Roka's situation is worse than I thought anyway. Like, she has good reason to be a little bit sulky. Maybe not for years, though, but I could see why she did what she did. Either way, we skip now 5 days ahead. This is the Sunday, 5 days after the Tuesday when I learned Numachi went missing. She got on a train and left the town she lived in. She was seemingly accompanied by Higasa, and we get nothing else other than that to why she's here. I'm guessing that she did actually ask after Higasa to ask some of her friends who went to that school to see what happened, and then they said this town, and that's why they've gone there. Either way, Higasa had something else to do, leaving Kambaru alone, and thus we see this. And we shouldn't have seen this because this guy should be dead in a ditch, but he's not. So this is Kaiki, everybody. But he doesn't normally look like this, right? Give me a close up. You know, the beard is definitely a change. I still don't like it. It makes him look very creepy. But it's a great reveal. It's just, yeah, this got me in the moment. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean he's alive? Yeah, just good stuff. So, Kambaru is aware of who he is and has some explicit advice from her senpai. If you ever meet this guy, don't talk to him at all and run away. So, that's exactly what she does, basically. Yeah. Just starts to walk away. He calls her Gaian child as well, just kind of for the audience, again reminding us with this kind of different concept that this is why he was after Kambaru. It's this whole Gaian's child idea. It isn't Kambaru as a person, it's her relation to Gaian and Gaian Toy. And then she legs it, and then we get funny ass, goofy Kaiki running. Which is brilliant. This is just a crack up. I loved this. It was paired with some neat production stuff. Like I like that twirl, and then there's this twirl, just good. And then this shot I think's quite good, like the POV moving through a pseudo 3D space. The colors are nice. I like all the signs pointing in the same direction as the turn as well. I think that's cool. Kind of turning again like a racetrack. I think she says later on that it's a little bit disheartening to be beaten in a kind of running race with somebody that clearly isn't that into running. Like they just stomp you. Again, he's an adult, so like it's only natural. And his running style is definitely very goofy, but it's good form. It's good form. Yeah, just good stuff. This is a good scene. Even in this moment, he's still being kind of, what's the word? Like thoughtful of her. You're going to trip, be careful. Like all about protecting her above everything else. Again, we find out why later. He wants to protect her in case anything happened to the mother, something's happened to the mother. He sees some kind of responsibility and some kind of duty in seeing that she's okay. He's gonna kind of be like her guardian angel from now on, right? Kind of got that phone number. He's gonna pop in anytime that she needs some help, I'm guessing. Just needs someone deceived, needs somebody, I don't know, to beat in a running race as well, apparently. She's got her man, right? I lost to a con man at the only thing I'm good at. I lost so bad I can't make excuses. I can't say it was because of this or that or anything else. I just lost. Shameful, kill me now, can the world please end? Kind of picks her up by the scruff of her neck. Looks up at her. Oh, and look at it. It's adorable. She hates it. She hates it, which is fair enough. I want to talk about framing again here a little bit. So initially, we're framing this Kaiki altercation very villainously, right? He's very antagonistic. Clearly, this has hit her in the feels, right? He's seemingly the bad guy, and then as the scene continues on, he's clearly doing some stuff that the normal Kaiki wouldn't do, like the paying for the meal part and the not being a creep part and the everything else in between, right? And we, the audience, we're like, oh, okay, so he's being serious. Then what gives? And then we find out what gives, and then he's giving off less of a sinister vibe. I think it kind of follows Kambaru's feelings, right? She's initially cagey, but opens up once she hears a little bit more. Just makes sense. The reason why he needed to wait for her to be out of town is because he made a promise with Senjogahara, if you remember, that he would never set foot in that town again, and he is seemingly keeping to that promise. The question that I have is, who helped you up? Who helped you after you seemingly died and bled out in the snow? That's a mystery now, right? That is something we need to continue to consider. I should also just briefly write back here that, like, apparently still alive. Back here at the end of the koi stuff with a whole bunch of question marks, just for good measure. Cool, so now we're going to follow Kaiki. We've got a reservation. He initially says it's coffee, but he's actually got a reservation for yakiniku, which I initially thought was Korean barbecue, but they're essentially the same thing. And Kaiki, he's just going to go into how much he loves meat for a while. And I don't disagree. I like me some meat too. I'm probably going to have some after I'm finished this recording session. But yeah, it's a lot of the episode, I will say. This feels like a theme to the arc too, right? It was good of Araragi and Senjogahara to give you a plan of what to do when you see me, right? You should run away. But what do you do after you can't run away? Well, they didn't really give you that, right? There are some problems that can't be solved by running. We need to figure out how to solve said problem now, right? This is going to come into a lot of our Numachi Roka stuff, a lot of our kind of family baggage stuff, a lot of the devil arm stuff. Like, clearly we're not going to solve this by just ignoring it. We have to be proactive in solving said problem, hence why we're going to the fire sisters at the end of the episode. The connection that Kambaru makes initially with this line is also that there's some problems that time won't solve as well. Same as running away, you can't just let bygones be bygones and things will be okay. So we're looking at the leg, there are some problems that time won't solve. This is a problem. Is this a problem for Numachi, or is this a problem for you with Numachi? Is that opening speaking to something, somewhat of a falling out that has happened in the past that we need to rectify? He says explicitly, I'm not here to con you. I need to do this in a kind of private area. I'm just going to open up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to con you. I think we should believe him on his word here, and he most certainly hasn't yet, to at least my knowledge, right? Unless he's conning us all. I don't know. He's definitely conned me into him being alive now. Normally this would be impossible and puts a whole bunch of emphasis on it. But today, I'll buy you coffee. So again, another indicator to us, the audience, that he's okay. He's willing to pay for stuff. That's not like Kaiki normally. He's making a special exception. There's something actually must be up. Damn this man, first he talks about tea, now he's feeding me meat. Pause. Yeah, and we go into our meat antics. It was all very funny. We got our jokes off. This is pretty good, though. It's yakiniku. You want to eat meat. If you want vegetables, no vegetables, you should go to yaki vegetable place if you want that, right? I'm guessing yaki means like fire or something, or cook. I don't know. So somebody will tell me. Yeah, and he's just a big old creep about cooking the meat. And he continues to cook the meat and stack it up. And it's kind of an extended metaphor about her trusting him, right? And eating said meat. And even at the end, he's like, I'll leave you to your thoughts, right? I'll leave you alone with the meat, and you can process the meat by yourself, right? I'm not going to push you any further to eat said meat, meat being Kaiki. You know what I mean? Meat being his, like, information. I'll let you marinate on that, you know? He's going to let her, just take some time with it. Yeah, so initially she's just giving him nothing. He's focusing on cooking the meat. He starts with a few small opening questions, right? Like, what should I call you? And that kind of thing, right? Yep, yummy meat can solve all these problems, the problems of both the young and old. So please eat yummy meat with me. I'm not sure if I would, in her position, eat said meat, but sure, it looks good to me outside of the show. Makes me hungry. So we get into it a little bit later, but I'll talk about it now. A lot of what Kambaru is doing here is predicated on what Araragi and Senjukahara think, right? They've imparted a lot of knowledge about Kaiki to her. Of course, she's going to harbor negative emotions towards him. That's kind of the whole point of what he's been doing. Then we kind of find out some history and it all gets very sad very quickly. There's some great shots here, like just him slightly leaning forward in the chair, tossing the meat on the, I don't know what you would call it, the fire. And she's just, again, giving him nothing. Just straight up and down, staring, no blinking, no relaxing, just fully tensed. So, again, now with full knowledge, this makes a lot of sense. Kaiki calls her Gaian child because her association to Gaian is what's important. He doesn't like the name Kambaru because Kambaru is the dad's side of the family, so Saruga's the only natural suggestion left for what he should be able to call her, satisfying all parties. And of course, this would be a little bit of a faux pas because that's her first name, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So again, the implication being that Saruga would be too informal. With all those things said, she finally starts to consume said meat, and we finally start to get some information out of Kaiki as to what he's actually doing here and why he wants the Gaian child. First, he's very creepy about knowing what hand Gaian Toy wrote with. So, she's right-handed, but she was left-handed, and yeah. Like dominant hand isn't, genetic, right? But again, it has more implications to do with not using this hand because there was potentially some kind of aberration under it until very recently. Kambaru is frustrated. She's thinking to, he isn't doing anything to make me hate him. I'm looking for an opportunity, right? But there's none given. He's doing everything perfectly. He's being even nice to me. It's all very weird. It's not what I would expect, given my kind of initial impressions from Araragi and Senjukahara. So then we get into the weeds of this, right? We start to get some actual reveals that I'll break down here. First one is that Kaiki leads with, well, I'm sure you know by now, but I knew your mother, right? Last August, did you meet your aunt? Again, we know about this. We know lots of stuff around what happened during August, not exactly what has happened yet. We know that Kambaru's involved, Shinobu's involved, Araragi's involved, Yotsugi's involved, Gainazuka's involved, and Episode randomly, sure. We know that all those people are there. It can't involve a Hanakawa or a Senjukahara because they had other shit going on at the time. And yeah, that was kind of what we're referring to here, whatever happened with that meeting with a woman that she initially didn't think was her aunt, but ended up being exactly that. So again, Gainazuka used a different name. This is something we already knew. This was revealed after the fact to Kambaru that this was actually her aunt. Why does Gainazuka want you? We know why Kaiki wants you now. It's all very sweet, at least on the surface level. Why does Gainazuka care? Other than it being her niece, right? Why does she care so deeply about Kambaru that she would mention it by name way back when? Is Gaian Toy more special than we think? I never really liked Izuku, but your mother helped me out a whole lot. We met by chance when I was even younger than you. So, way before college when he met the rest of his whole gang there. We kept in touch till university. She was kind of like a tutor to me. Okay. And yeah, Gaian Toy asked Kaiki to look after her daughter if anything ever happened to her. Lo and behold, something happened to her, and now here he is trying to rectify things. And the level of shock that Kambaru has to this is the same level of shock that we have. Of course, we wouldn't think of Kaiki as somebody who you would trust with something like that, but clearly a lot of different people have different opinions about him. So he was in town last summer during Nisei Monogatari, partially because he was doing his whole scamming thing and making money and doing all that shit, but also when we see him with Araragi, he's just checking on you. He's just checking out the house, just asking if she's home and she's okay. So that whole terrible vampiric blood red forest setting we see for him, he's just checking on her. He's doing nothing evil. That's funny. That's hilarious. Just so much in the framing there just shows something that innocuous is something that's actually quite terrible. I guess the rest of what he's doing in that arc is not great, what he's doing with Karen and all that, but Again, we've reconciled that in kind of Koi Monogatari a little bit. He's just being a good bloke. That's kind of funny. Yeah, we give him the whole vampire treatment. Kambaru's question here was my question as well. Were you in love with my mother? He initially says no, but just kind of says, I was at one point in time, and now I'm over it. I'm certainly definitely over it. The long and short of it is I don't believe him. I think he still harbors some kind of feelings here, some kind of obligation to help her, even after everything is all said and done. Yeah, kind of. It's almost like a harp in the soundtrack, right? Boo doo 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 doo. Very calming, right? But in the background, you kind of got that kaiki melody as well, almost played on like a triangle or something really like twinkly. It's just good soundtrack work. Just kind of matches this kaiki themed calm track that we're going for, right? With the kind of the meat is our constant in the scene with this soundtrack. Just it's like conversations with Kaiki by the fire. It's that kind of vibe. Kaiki gets increasingly not upset, but kind of frustrated that she's hitting the nail on the head with everything, with the whole not wanting to call her Kambaru and the reason for the meeting and everything else. Like, she has great deduction skills, is what he says, as kind of the meat on the thing continues to burn, kind of mirroring his anger at it. Yeah, and crossing the arms. I could compliment your insight, I guess. Think she's hit the nail on the head. In university, I was in love with your mother, yes. Well, at the time, I had a girlfriend of my own, but I never got anywhere with her. Okay, I wonder who this is. Is this relevant for future stuff, or we're just gonna leave this here? Who is Kaiki's ex? I'm really into his love life. I want to know more about it, really. Do I look like my mother? Oh, I guess you look more like her than not like her, I guess. It's like you really forgot the face of the woman you loved. You see, I'm a cold man. See, I don't believe him. I think this is actually pretty painful, seeing her, right? Kind of, uh, kind of the reflection of this woman that he loved, this woman that he's lost, now sitting in front of him. I think this is a very emotional moment for him. He's just very good at hiding it. Either way, now we're getting Kaiki handing over his business card. It's all very legitimate, of course. We have to cross out the Ghostbuster. We're no longer doing that. Yeah, this is for you. This is plot reason why this is happening. This is what we're going to use when we get into a little bit of a bind later this arc, or potentially even later in the series. Kambaru is now aware of Kaiki's good intentions and that he's almost at her beck and call in a way. Of course, Kambaru cuts to the chase here. Are you trying to con me, Kaiki? A flash of Senjugahara's house. No, I won't con you. And I believe him, right? He would have had a very different tact if he was going to do that. It is funny that he's saying, I won't con you, when he's conning the entire audience with this ridiculous looking facial hair. I understand your point of view in all of this. If you don't do all these things, you'll feel like you're betraying Senjugahara. You'll feel like... But again, we have all this context now. Another weird placement in the story thing. We wouldn't have all this Senjugahara context, and we wouldn't believe Kaiki even more. See, right now, I'm completely on Kaiki's side. I've seen Koi Monogatari. I know that he's secretly kind of a good bloke. He has good intentions. It's all very complex, but I have a very high opinion of him compared to the start of that arc to the end. Without that context, I'm way more on Kambaru's side with this. The only time I've ever known about this guy is when he's conning people. And that's very interesting. Okay, that's another great difference. Huh. Cool. His overall opinion here, he says it in many, many words, but it's that humans have many, many facets. At the end of the day, you can't be sure that I'll never con you. But we gotta pick something, right? The perspective that you see me right now may not be the perspective that everyone else sees me, and that speaks to a lot of what the show's about as well. A lot of what we're seeing with Kambaru, even. She's a very different Kambaru to the rest, right? There's no human that's all bad, there's no human that's all good. We need to look for the good and bad in each other and pick and choose and do all these other things, right? That's what gives everybody complexity. I like this. I probably agree with this very much as a message. Nobody's ever as good or as bad as you think they are. He uses the example of Kambaru here, right? Your thing is running. You like to run, but you don't run all the time, right? You walk, you sleep. Of course, this is extending our metaphor of running as running away from problems, as kind of leaving things as they are, as not working things through. So you may be good at this, but you can also do other things. And now she's moving on to do those other things as well. I think there's something in that. There's this little weird look here from Kaiki, though, after he says, what was his line here? Sometimes I might be kind to someone even if I have no particular reason to be. Well, you do have a particular reason to be kind to her. Is that what this looks about? Like here? Weird. I don't get that. So the important part here, she accepts the card. This means this will come back later. This is what screenwriting is. So, yes, expect Kaiki back at some point. They did us some weird shit about meat and stuff. Eat them in that order. I didn't really get that. I don't gain weight or muscle easily. I was never very good at sports either. Seems she's actually upset. I was faster than her. Well, I guess I was in track and field club in middle and high school. Oh, I know. Should I teach you the running style I invented? This is Kaiki speaking. What? Why? Why are we getting Kaiki POV thoughts during a Kambaru arc? That's a little bit weird. I call it the Kaiki stride. My specialty in the track and field club or something. I like the Kaiki stride. I think that's cool. It's just a little bit immersion breaking. I don't know about that. Either way, we find out that Kaiki is aware of the monkey's paw. Your mother left you this mummified monkey's paw, right? Please don't use it. Please come to me instead. Too late. She's already used it. Do you know that? I don't know. Someone will come to collect this hand soon. Please be ready for them. They are called the Collector. Someone trying to collect all the parts of a devil. And they need the arm, so don't ask after that arm, of course. So if this person shows up, please give them the arm. Well, I don't have the arm anymore. So two things happen. One, Numachi Roka and the Collector are somewhat in cahoots or something like that, right? And we're going to find out that this Sir Devil is actually the collective, like, collecting all these things behind the scenes, something like that. Or Numachi Roka is now in trouble and the Collector is going to come after Numachi Roka. It's all going to connect, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Either way, Kaiki now leaves a bunch of money, leaves her to process the meat by herself. Go eat that meat. Think about what you think about me and all these revelations and that kind of thing. I'll leave you to your thoughts. And we're going to find out where we got this information that you'd be out of town. He got a tip-off from a friend. So, of course, we think Higasa. Higasa did it, right? That's weird. Why would Higasa do that? But no. It is Numachi Roka. Numachi Roka has alerted Kaiki to where she is and when he can talk with her and kind of take her away. So I'm seeing this as like a distraction. I'm getting you off my tail. That's why I think this has happened. Of course, we have an implied connection between Numachi Roka and Kaiki from the past, so that's why they know each other and why they would want to be in cahoots like that. Some of that framing was pretty cool when he said Numachi Roka too. I thought that was nice. And then, yeah, straight into the ED. But of course, we have a little post-credit scene. Again, just adding on to my thoughts from the start of the episode. We're showing Kambaru bathing, but there's no sexuality to it. She's just going about her business, like anybody would when they're bathing. They've seen their own body a million times. They wouldn't think it's attractive. And she's just thinking about some stuff, processing it, meditating on it, you could even say. Why would Numachi Roka give Kaiki this information? Did she realize it was dangerous? Did she think that I was after her and she wanted to stop that potentially? That's what I'm thinking. In any case, I can't keep up appearances. I can't try and act cool anymore. I need to attack this head on. I can't keep running away. I think that's what we're getting at here. We're going to ask Karen, and by extension Tsukihi, hey, can you look for a Numachi Roka for me and find out what she's about, where I can contact her. And of course, they're going to be able to do it because they're gods at this. Shoutouts to the Fire Sisters, of course. There's a piece to it, right? There's the water dropping, there's the music, there's the kind of the pose on the books, there's the kind of I guess you'd call it like a bath gown or something like that, kind of like a dressing gown. Bathrobe, that's a word. Yeah, she's. It feels clean, warm, refreshed. Everything's just coming up Millhouse, you know? Yeah, and this is one of the last visuals we get. Yeah, everything's going good. This is a good episode for Kambaru. She found out that somebody potentially that she thought wasn't bad isn't all that bad. And she lost her bad arm and Augie's being sus, but that's just normal. And yeah, This was good. This was a good episode for our characters. How often can I say that? Yeah, and this last petal falls, and I think we'll leave it about there. So yeah, if you couldn't tell, I thought the episode was really good again. Lots of good things going for it. I think I've talked about it enough. I don't think I'm even going to summarize other than saying yes, good episode, 2 thumbs up. Gonna try to do 2 next week, of course. Should be able to. Thinking ahead, yeah, definitely should be able to. And yeah, I'm expecting a little bit more of a fiery meeting this time between a Numachi Roka and a Kambaru. We're going to get a little bit more history there, going to get a little bit more context. I think so. I wonder if Kaiki's going to come back this arc or further in the story. We'll see. Why is he alive? That's a big overall question now that we need to solve. But yeah, we're going to do that in the future. For now, just show stuff, I guess. Get us out of here. Like the video, like the video, like the video. See more. Subscribe. Doing very shorthand today. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve this kind of whole thing I have going on. Comment below. Follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you would like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join it. We're chill. We talk about stuff sometimes. It's nice. And yeah, I guess we're signing off. Sorry for the one episode, but more Monogatari in your future, I assure you of that. Yeah, thank you very much, and I'll catch you next week. Ready? Yeah, catch you guys later.